Which of the following entities recommends transmit/receive channels and other parameters for auxiliary and repeater stations? A. Frequency Spectrum Manager appointed by the FCC. B. Volunteer Frequency Coordinator recognized by local amateurs. C. FCC Regional Field Office. D. International Telecommunications Union. B. Volunteer Frequency Coordinator recognized by local amateurs. What is the International Telecommunications Union? A. An agency of the United States Department of Telecommunications Management. B. A United Nations Agency for Information and Communication Technology Issues. C. An independent frequency coordination agency. D. A department of the FCC. B. A United Nations Agency for Information and Communication Technology Issues. What may result when correspondence from the FCC is returned as undeliverable because the grantee failed to provide and maintain a correct mailing address with the FCC? A. Fine or imprisonment. B. Revocation of the station license or suspension of the operator license. C. Require the licensee to be re-examined. D. Reduction of one rank in operator class. B. Revocation of the station license or suspension of the operator license. What is the meaning of the term broadcasting in the FCC rules for the amateur radio service? A. Two-way transmissions by amateur stations. B. Transmission of music. C. Transmission of messages directed only to amateur operators. D. Transmissions intended for reception by the general public. D. Transmissions intended for reception by the general public. When, under normal circumstances, may a technician class licensee be the control operator of a station operating in an exclusive amateur extra class operator segment of the amateur band? When? A. At no time. B. When operating a special event station. C. As part of a multi-operator contest team. D. When using a club station whose trustee is an amateur extra class operator licensee. A. At no time. Which of the following restrictions apply when an unlicensed person is allowed to speak to a foreign station using a station under the control of a technician class control operator? A. The person must be a U.S. citizen. B. The foreign station must be one with which the U.S. has a third-party agreement. C. The licensed control operator must do the station identification. D. All of these choices are correct. B. The foreign station must be one with which the U.S. has a third-party agreement. How should you respond to a station calling CQ? A. Transmit CQ, followed by the other station's call sign. B. Transmit your call sign followed by the other station's call sign. C. Transmit the other station's call sign followed by your call sign. D. Transmit a signal report followed by your call sign. C. Transmit the other station's call sign followed by your call sign. Where may SSB phone be used in amateur bands above 50 MHz? A. Only in sub-bands allocated to general class or higher licensees. B. Only on repeaters. C. In at least some portion of all these bands. D. On any band as long as power is limited to 25 watts. C. In at least some portion of all these bands. What do races and ours have in common? A. They represent the two largest ham clubs in the United States. B. Both organizations broadcast road and weather information. C. Neither may handle emergency traffic supporting public service agencies. D. Both organizations may provide communications during emergencies. D. Both organizations may provide communications during emergencies. What term is commonly used to describe the rapid fluttering sound sometimes heard from mobile stations that are moving while transmitting? A. Flip-flopping. B. Picket fencing. C. Frequency shifting. D. Pulsing. B. Picket fencing. What are the frequency limits of the VHF spectrum? A. 30 to 300 kHz. B. 30 to 300 MHz. C. 300 to 3000 kHz. D. 300 to 3000 MHz. B. 30 to 300 MHz. Why are direct not via repeater UHF signals rarely heard from stations outside your local coverage area? A. They are too weak to go very far. B. FCC regulations prohibit them from going more than 50 miles. C. UHF signals are usually not reflected by the ionosphere. D. UHF signals are absorbed by the ionospheric D layer. C. UHF signals are usually not reflected by the ionosphere. How might a computer be used as part of an amateur radio station? A. For logging contacts and contact information. B. For sending and / or receiving CW. C. For generating and decoding digital signals. D. All of these choices are correct. D. All of these choices are correct. Which of the following is used for the scanning function of an FM transceiver? A. To check incoming signal deviation. B. To prevent interference to nearby repeaters. C. To scan through a range of frequencies to check for activity. D. To check for messages left on a digital bulletin board. C. To scan through a range of frequencies to check for activity. What is the name for the flow of electrons in an electric circuit? A. Voltage. B. Resistance. C. Capacitance. D. Current. D. Current. How many volts are equal to 1 microvolt? A. 1 millionth of a volt. B. 1 million volts. C. 1000 kilovolts. D. 1 THOUSANDTH of a volt. A. 1 millionth of a volt. What is the unit of frequency? A. Hertz. B. Henry. C. Farad. D. Tesla. A. Hertz. What happens to current at the junction of two components in series? A. It divides equally between them. B. It isn't changed. C. It divides based on the value of the components. D. The current in the second component is 0. B. It isn't changed. What type of component is often used as an adjustable volume control? A. Fixed resistor. B. Power resistor. C. Potentiometer. D. Transformer. C. Potentiometer. What are the names of the two electrodes of a diode? A. Plus and minus. B. Source and drain. C. Anode and cathode. D. Gate and base. C. Anode and cathode. What is component 3 in figure T3? Its symbol is a repeating series of humps with an arrow pointing toward it. A. Connector. B. Meter. C. Variable capacitor. D. Variable inductor. D. Variable inductor. Which of the following is combined with an inductor to make a tuned circuit? A. Resistor. B. Zener diode. C. Potentiometer. D. Capacitor. D. Capacitor. What is a transceiver? B. A unit combining the functions of a transmitter and a receiver. C. A component in a repeater that filters out unwanted interference. D. A type of antenna matching network. B. A unit combining the functions of a transmitter and a receiver. Which of the following actions should you take if a neighbor tells you that your station's transmissions are interfering with their radio or TV reception? A. Make sure that your station is functioning properly and that it does not cause interference to your own radio or television when it is tuned to the same channel. B. Immediately turn off your transmitter and contact the nearest FCC office for assistance. C. Tell them that your license gives you the right to transmit and nothing can be done to reduce the interference. D. Install a harmonic doubler on the output of your transmitter and tune it until the interference is eliminated. A. Make sure that your station is functioning properly and that it does not cause interference to your own radio or television when it is tuned to the same channel. What, in general terms, is standing wave ratio SWR? A. The measure of how well a load is matched to a transmission line. B. The ratio of high to low impedance in a feed line. C. The transmitter efficiency ratio. D. An indication of the quality of your station's ground connection. A. The measure of how well a load is matched to a transmission line. What is the characteristic appearance of a cold solder joint? A. Dark black spots. B. A bright or shiny surface. C. A grainy or dull surface. D. A greenish tint. C. A grainy or dull surface. Which sideband is normally used for 10-meter HF, VHF, and UHF single sideband communications? A. Upper sideband. B. Lower sideband. C. Suppressed sideband. D. Inverted sideband. A. Upper sideband. What telemetry information is typically transmitted by satellite beacons? A. The signal strength of received signals. B. Time of day accurate to plus or minus 1/10 second. C. Health and status of the satellite. D. All of these choices are correct. C. Health and status of the satellite. Which of the following methods is used to locate sources of noise interference or jamming? A. Echolocation. B. Doppler radar. C. Radio direction finding. D. Phase locking. C. Radio direction finding. Which of the following operating activities is supported by digital mode software in the WSJT suite? A. Moon bounce or Earth moon Earth. B. Weak signal propagation beacons. C. Meteor scatter. D. All of these choices are correct. D. All of these choices are correct. What is the approximate length, in inches, of a half-wavelength 6-meter dipole antenna? A. 6. B. 50. C. 112. D. 236. C. 112. Why should coax connectors exposed to the weather be sealed against water intrusion? A. To prevent an increase in feedline loss. B. To prevent interference to telephones. C. To keep the jacket from becoming loose. D. All of these choices are correct. A. to prevent an increase in feed line loss. What should be done to all external ground rods or earth connections? A. Waterproof them with silicone caulk or electrical tape. B. Keep them as far apart as possible. C. Bond them together with heavy wire or conductive strap. D. Tune them for resonance on the lowest frequency of operation. C. Bond them together with heavy wire or conductive strap. Under what circumstances is it safe to climb a tower without a helper or observer? A. When no electrical work is being performed. B. When no mechanical work is being performed. C. When the work being done is not more than 20 feet above the ground. D. Never. D. Never. What factors affect the RF exposure of people near an amateur station antenna? A. Frequency and power level of the RF field. B. Distance from the antenna to a person. C. Radiation pattern of the antenna. D. All of these choices are correct. D. All of these choices are correct.